One day, my friends at the share house unfortunately gave my partner and I some bad news. We had to move out and find somewhere else to live, due to a family member needing somewhere to stay. My partner and I were applying for different places, but we weren't accepted at any of them. We were starting to lose hope. My partner wasn't happy with our mates, but it was nothing personal. Family comes first, most of the time. A friend of our mates at the share house had her house that was located 15 minutes south of where we were. She wasn't living in her house because she was living at her girlfriend's house, not far from the share house. They offered the place to us at a very cheap rental rate. We thought it was too good to be true. The lady gave us the address and the keys, and we went and had a look. When we got to the house, we could see it was in a complex, a housing commission complex. Okay, well, the lady never told us it was in a housing commission complex. Are you sure this is a good idea? I'm not sure. Are we actually allowed to stay here by law? I really don't think so. We walked into the complex from the car park and looked for the house. We found it, and then we went inside. Surprisingly, it was nice. It was roomy. It had 2 bedrooms, a kitchen, bathroom, and a laundry. It was spacious. It was very tempting to take up the offer, but the only thing was, it was housing commission. Could we live there? We had further questions for the lady. We went back and seen her and asked if we were allowed to live in her housing commission house by law. She said yes, but not really. We were to tell everyone who comes by that we were family members of hers. Oh great, this is getting more and more dodgy. The lady said she would come down to the house every so often, just to make an appearance, and if she had a housing arrangement with the commission, she would be there. She told us to try and stay low if we could. We really didn't like the idea, but because we had nowhere else to live, it was our only option. Reluctantly, we took up the lady's offer and abided by her rules. We packed up the shed at the share house and started moving into the lady's house. It took a few trips, but we got there. We asked our mates if they could look after Honey, our dog, and we could stop in regularly to check up on her, as we couldn't take her there where we were going. They agreed. Now, once we had everything all moved into the house, we started unpacking. It was very quiet there, apart from when the trains would go by along the train line, as the street followed the train line all the way up to the mountain line. The neighbours all kept to themselves, so we felt we weren't drawing any attention to anyone. Living in the house was nice. We had our own space, and we had plenty of room to live. The only daunting thing was if commission rocked up at the house one day, it was bound to happen, so we had to be prepared. Plus, we didn't want to engage too much with the neighbours either, due to the fact that we weren't supposed to be there. So being outside during the day kind of made us feel paranoid. We felt much safer inside, or as soon as we drove out of the car park, or if it was night time. So pretty much for 6 months we were living and walking on eggshells. There were days we would see one of the commission workers wandering around the complex. We would stay low and quiet while this happened. But one day we heard a knock at the door. Oh crap, the lady's meant to be here for something. Otherwise, why would they be knocking at the door? Let's stay quiet. We pretended no one was home, and the worker left. This happened a few more times, and we asked the lady why she hadn't been down to the house. She said she had a lot of other things going on. Right, more important things than the house. Okay. She told us to just go along with the family member story if we were going to answer the door. We didn't want to answer the door though. We felt scared and trapped in our own prison. The lady said we could move out whenever we wanted, but we hadn't found another place yet, so we stayed. Housing Commission was on the lady's back anyway. They knew she wasn't there, but yet they had a feeling someone else was living there. One day, my partner's family came down to check out the house. They agreed it was nice, but it was a Housing Commission house. My partner's mum said we needed to get out as soon as possible, but we had nowhere else to go. Then, we heard a knock at the door, and because my partner's sisters were playing outside, the commission worker knew someone was there. I went to answer the door, but my partner's mum intervened and said she'd deal with it. No more secrets, no more lies. My partner's mum answered the door, and the worker was shocked to see someone else at the door. She then explained everything to the worker, and the worker was horrified. I think we were in some sort of trouble now, just not sure how much. We were given 1 week to move out, and the lady was going to be in serious hot water. We ended up moving back to my partner's family home up north, and we lived there for a further 5 months in the bedroom downstairs. After moving out of the commission house, we had to disclose with the Housing Commission of the situation the lady had put us in. We put in our statement, and we never heard anything else about the situation. I did hope the lady didn't get into too much trouble though, as she was only trying to help us, but it was still illegal anyway.